Okay, same day, different time. It is currently 1:30 p.m. this afternoon. And so here's my main go-to Bible, if you will. Um, I don't know why I choose this one over all the other ones that I have. And I do have more. Um, Maybe it's just because this one is easier as far as turning the pages. But I need to come to a little bit of clarification over differences in Bibles, and I have to apologize because, as I have stated in past recordings, when it comes to my collection of Holy Bibles, if you will, they are King James Version, and which it has been through many people and their encounters and their observations that it has been the Mandela effect or these strange paranormal changes or supernatural changes within the King James Version Bible, and it does not affect other Bibles such as the NIV or even, I want to even say, the Catholic Version Bibles, which are not the King James Version. This here is yet another, here, let's brighten that up. This here is yet another one of my King James Version Bibles in which it is highlighted for the verses and chapters are highlighted in different colorations pertaining to the topics at hand, such as salvation, the Holy Spirit, temporal blessings, and prophetic subjects. Makes it a little bit easier, especially when you're dealing with certain topics. Now, as I have stated, throughout my whole lifetime, things come to me. I do not necessarily go out looking for anything in particular. I let things such as these sky anomalies that I record, I let them come to me. I let my intuitions drive those forces that flow through me to take me outside in order to record what I do record. Such is the case with many other items that I have as far as material possessions, and books are something else that come to me and eventually become useful in due time. Whether these are roadside finds or people give them to me or whatever the case may be, things find their way to me and eventually I make use of them somehow. It's very strange how this process works, and I'm going to give you an example. Here is the newest work. Whoops, I'm sorry about that. This is a beast of a book, if you will. But this is my newest finding, or it found me. But I've had this since Halloween. This was a roadside find as I was walking my way into town, and I rescued it from the snow event that we had at that time period. Now, this is yet another King James Version Bible, but this one I'm going to go a little bit more into detail with. So let's go ahead and check this out. So, this has been severely water damaged now, which really irritates me. I don't care what type of book it is, if it's left out to endure the environment and is, basically almost ruined. See this? This is already mold that has built up just because, or mildew from sitting out in the weather. And it's a shame because this is a beautiful book, Gold Seal edition, complete with all kinds of pictures. Hold that thought. I need to stabilize this a little bit better. All right. And once again, you can see that this is King James Version, red letter edition, meaning that the words of Christ is in red type. And this is from 1968. Previous copyrights are listed right there, and which this is very interesting. And I'll let you read what we have right here. And I'm losing my stabilization again. But I love what it says right here. They make the Bible its own interpreter. Okay? But I do not like how it says they meet the needs and time-saving demands of today. Yeah, all those workaholics that don't read. And this was 68. Now what I really like is symbolism. Historic Christian symbols. And which, within all of the illustrations in this book, there are these symbols, Christian symbols, if you will. Very interesting. Yeah, quite a lot. In fact, as far as quite a lot, you see all these pages here? This is all information, reference information, encyclopedic index, all of that. Interesting and strange facts about the Bible. Okay. But all of that, look at this. All of that before we even get to the book of Genesis. And then we have just so much in here, and it is large print, easy reading. But even this one has nothing in it about the sun, and let me also state the moon, because it just states that it says the light. And I'm just gonna leave it up to you people, and what your memories are regarding the sun, moon, and stars instead of the light, the greater light, the lesser light, and all that. Once again, this is a King James Version Bible. And I mean, I've got and this is another one that I love. And I'll have to get into this story here and the reality of what the Tower of Babel or Babel was. And the true or realistic significance of what this story is all about. Yeah. Here is yet another story that twisted my brain when I was much younger. the factor of Jacob wrestling with an angel and the outcome of that wrestling match, and it gives you a real perspective over the reality of the strengths of these so-called angelic beings. Here's another reality-stricken story about the plagues of Egypt and how all these plagues were through the will of God, in which if you understand biology and the environment and so on and so forth, you will understand the chronology of these plagues and how they took place and why. Very scientific. Blaine, if you're watching, here's one for you, buddy. Just had to throw that in there. So there's some great illustrations, and well, of course we also have to have quotations, known as truths. Yeah, but we have a lot of these. I mean, this is a very interesting book. I have to say that. Something else that you don't see very often anymore within Bibles is different certifications. We have also the husband's genealogy, so you can have your own tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Yes, the family tree. That is the tree that God was warning Adam and Eve not to eat the fruit thereof. That is why it was called the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But anyways, yeah, I can foresee me using this book in the future for many, many things. Many sermons over how I read these words and the stories that they tell. Because I, once again, do not believe in truth, only reality. And I like to expose realities. But it's just kind of strange that, once again, I have religious material that makes its way to me. Especially in a time to where my vision is going. Spelling changes. Okay. Remember, this is from 1968. Well, anyways, people, I just wanted to share that with you, and if I could make the comparisons of basically the wordings in Genesis from different sources, different Bibles, I would do so, but unfortunately the majority of my reference material is that of King James reference, and like I said, and many other people have observed out there over the years, the many changes of the wordings within this book of books. But I did want to share this. This is something else. This was quite the find, and I could not I I couldn't leave it to endure any more of the weather that we were experiencing this last Halloween. It got ruined enough. You can see the warpage. It was a beautiful book. If anything, a very beautiful book. And it's just too bad I couldn't have rescued it sooner. So, there you go. I'll leave it at that. We'll see you on the flip side.